All right, we're rolling. So, welcome back after the extended, unexpected vacation. So I came across this quote the other day. The faculty of bringing back a wandering attention over and over again is the very root of judgment, character, and will. That's by William James, who many refer to as the father of modern psychology. And it comes back to that idea I've shared a lot of times, that meditation isn't so much about creating a perfect, undivided stream of attention as it is bringing your awareness back time and time again to whatever you deem important or whatever the kind of focus of your meditation is. So character, will, or any given accomplishment aren't about the heroic and singular effort, we've talked about that, but about knowing what we want and bringing awareness and effort back to that time and time again. So it's that kind of idea, again, I talked about that weeks ago, of historically I've been a big fan of the heroic effort. I love it still. But if you compared, and if I look back at my training over the years, particularly when I was younger and I was big on this, hopefully I'm getting better now, but it used to feel like the heroic effort was a really big thing. So I'd have sort of interspersed heroic efforts, which would then inadvertently burn me out. But because they were massive efforts, it felt like, wow, this is a really big deal. If you compared a parallel situation where you consistently chipped away and you summed up that number is likely far greater than the heroic effort, even though the sort of intermittent heroic efforts feel like a bigger deal. So life tends to pull us every which way with whatever you've got going on: work, hobbies, kids, general distractions. And many would argue we're in the age of distraction with social media and all of the stuff. So the ability to direct our attention to those things which truly matter to us is tantamount to a superpower. And anything we're attentive to time and time again will become part of our lives and become part of us. There's this lovely, I don't know if any of you have read Atomic Habits by James Clear, but he talks about how any time you engage in that, basically any time you engage in anything, is a vote for the type of person you're becoming. So he talks about his atomic habits, kind of micro habits, and says the more often you can check in and do that thing, the more votes you're making to become that person, which I think is a really powerful idea. And it comes back to that same thing of, it's like in the diet realm. I've heard this metaphor recently that if you're dieting or aiming to adhere to a particular diet plan or eating plan, what many people do is they slip up. They eat something they're not supposed to in that context, and then they go and eat the whole packet, and then they go and get the packet of chips as well, and they go nuts. And I've heard it said that is like getting a flat tire on the motorway, getting out and slashing all your tires. And it's like, same with meditation. I've spoken to so many people that tried meditation and then they gave up because they're like, I'm just no good at it. I just can't stop my mind from wandering. And I hold that that's not the point. The point is that it's how your mind works. It's how life works, that you'll be distracted. Your mind will wander, but the point is to bring it back time and time and time and time again. And in meditation, in yoga, there are so many different tools that they'll use for that kind of meditative focus. And as you practice, you can focus on so many things, but I'd suggest it's the fact that you are attending is the more important point. So whether that's attending to the sensations of your body, I would contend that paying attention to your breath is a particularly, or personally I've found it to be a particularly effective tool. Bring your awareness back time and time again to your breath. And then there's that idea of when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So it might also be if the practice of yoga physically, if it's still quite uncomfortable for you, then you can focus on the discomfort and you can focus on the fact that the pose won't last too long, kind of grit your teeth and bear it. Or you can use those moments to look for a different focus, whether that's focusing on your breath and smoothing and soothing your breath, or whether it's focusing on maybe you can make slight adjustments to how you're doing the pose that mitigate and make it feel less unpleasant. And then maybe you can look beyond the discomfort to find within it a different experience. So please come onto your backs. Simply lie back and set your arms up so that if 90 degrees is your arms straight out at your side, level with your shoulders, and 0 degrees is your arms down by your sides, have your upper arms about 45 degrees. Have your elbows slightly bent and your forearms and fingertips pointing away from you. And let your body begin to soften and settle. As your body softens and settles with that position of your arms, you might feel a subtle stretch across your chest. Simply allow that. Now, just note as well, if some of you won't be feeling a stretch across your chest there, if you want to explore what might stretch your chest, you can take your arms higher, keep your elbows on the ground, but glide your arms up higher, and that will shift either the sensation of stretch or how the stretch hits across your chest. And find a spot where you get a nice little stretch, is probably too strong a word, a nice little sensation of opening out across the front of your chest. And then begin to focus, to tune into your breathing. As always, there are many ways, many parts of your breath that you could focus on. But here, focus on the lowest moving border of your lungs. And aim to focus on that lowest border of your lungs, which sits just below your heart, approximately, at the end of your exhalation. And as you breathe in, feel that lowest border of your lungs move down into the spaces of your belly. As you breathe out, feel it gently rise back up again. And as you focus on your breath, maybe you find you can let your body soften more deeply. With that focus on your breath, you might notice that naturally there's a pause that occurs at the end of your out breath before you begin to breathe in again. And there's a pause at the end of your in breath before you begin to breathe out again. If it feels natural, allow that pause. And as you breathe, and particularly on those pauses between in-breath and out-breath, between out-breath ending An in-breath beginning, especially on those pauses. Keep your body relaxed. Take a couple of deeper breaths here. And softly roll on to one side and curl into a ball. And press your way up and over and come to all fours. Set your hands directly beneath the center of your shoulders. Set your knees directly beneath the center of your hip joints. And start to move through cat-cow. As you inhale, take your sitting bones back and up. Look forward and draw your shoulder blades down in your back. And exhale, oppose that. Roll your sitting bones under. Scoop, hollow out through your abdomen. Push the ground away. Inhale, take your sitting bones back and up. Take your heart and your gaze forward. And exhale, roll your sitting bones under. Push the ground away and hollow out the front of your body as much as possible. Inhale, sitting bones back and up. Extend your spine. Exhale, sitting bones forward and under. Hollow out your belly, flex your spine. That's twice more. Inhale, sitting bones back and up. Exhale, sitting bones under. Once more. Inhale, extend your spine. Exhale, flex your spine. Inhale, come to neutral and tuck your toes. Exhale, press back to down dog. Now allow yourself in these first moments, whichever modifications allow you to find your way into the pose. That might be bend of your knees, lift of your heels. It might be a combination of the two. And equally, you might gently walk out your heels in the shape to start to find a stretch through the backs of your legs. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, walk your hands to the back of your mat. Slide your hands up your shins. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Exhale, folding. And again, inhale, slide your hands up your shins, straighten your arms and lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Once more, inhale, slide your hands up, straighten your arms and lengthen away. Exhale, fold. Pause here, hold your elbows with your opposite hand. Let your torso, head and arms hang heavy. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release your hands to the ground. Halfway lift, inhale, slide your hands up, lengthen your spine away. Exhale, walk your hands forward, down dog. Inhale. Exhale, release your knees to the ground, untuck your toes and sit back on your heels. If you sit comfortably like this, stay like this. Otherwise, you can sit anyway, or you could stand for this. Grab your belt or your towel. Start wide with your palms facing down. Tension the belt or towel, pull out on it. Inhale, reach out overhead, keep pulling. And exhale, take it down behind you. Keep the tension. Inhale, bring it out overhead. Exhale, bring it down in front. Inhale, take it out overhead. Exhale, take it down behind again. Keep the tension. Keep pulling out on your belt or strap. You can go wider or narrower. Inhale, take your arms higher. Exhale, come down and go steady. But again, you can take your hands a little narrower. Walk them in a bit. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Keep pulling. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale down behind. Inhale out overhead. And exhale down. Sit your butt to one side. Bring your legs around in front of you and plant your feet flat on the ground. With your fingertips pointing forward, place your hands slightly back from your hips. Take your shoulders back and draw your shoulder blades down in your back. And then push your hips up. Really emphasize that initial movement you did, that you drive your hands back into the ground and aim to lift the center of your chest higher than the line of your shoulders. So if you have a look here, if I drop down, that shoulder comes forward of the line of my chest, draw back, engage across your upper back, push the ground away. Release down, cross your legs, plant your hands in front of you to come to all fours. And then press back to down dog. Inhale deeply. Exhale evenly. Inhale deeply. Exhale, walk your feet to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Inhale, lengthen your spine away. Exhale, folding. Rise up. Inhale, raise your arms overhead. Exhale, release your arms down beside you. Inhale, raise your arms, look up. Exhale, release your hands down, clasp them at the base of your back. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale, lift the top of your chest. Soften your knees, and exhale, folding. Pause here, inhale. Exhale, release your hands down. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, take your hands to the ground, step your left foot back. Release your knee to the ground. Inhale, rise up and raise your arms. Exhale, perhaps sink a little deeper. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Down dog, plant your hands, step back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Release your right knee to the ground. Inhale, come up, low lunge. Exhale, sink your hips perhaps a little deeper. Breathe deep down into the base of your belly. Exhale, maybe sink a little deeper and stretch out a little more overhead. Inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, step your back foot forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold in. Rise up, inhale, raise your arms, look up. Exhale, release your arms down beside you. Inhale, raise your arms, look up. Exhale, clasp your hands at the base of your back. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale, lift your heart, look up. Bend your knees, exhale, fold in, press your arms out overhead. Pause here, inhale. Exhale, take your hands to the ground. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, step your left foot back, crescent lunge. Inhale, rise up, raise your arms. Exhale, good. Can you sink a little deeper in your front knee bend? Center that knee over your ankle. And can you work to straighten your back leg a little more? Good. And still breathe deep down to the base of your belly. One last deep breath in here. Down dog, plant your hands, step back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Crescent lunge, step your left foot forward. Inhale, rise up and raise your arms. Pause here again. Can you deepen that front knee bend so the knee centers over your ankle? And as you do that, work your back leg straighter and stronger. You press down as much through the base of your little toe as through the base of your big toe. Inhale deeply. Exhale, take your hands down, step your back foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Rise up. Inhale, raise your arms, look up. Exhale, release your arms down beside you. Begin once more the same way. Inhale, raise your arms, look up. Exhale, clasp your hands at the base of your back. Soften your knees a bit. Inhale, roll your shoulders back and down and lift the top of your chest. And exhale, fold in. Inhale. Press your arms a little deeper. Inhale. Exhale, take your hands to the ground. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, take your hands down, step your left foot back, crescent lunge. Inhale, rise up and raise your arms. And exhale, clasp your hands at the base of your back. As before, roll your shoulders back and down, lift the top of your chest. And exhale, bow in and press your arms out overhead. Keep your back leg strong. Really anchor down through your back foot. That's the trick. Balance can be a bit tricky here. Work with it. Keep anchoring into your back foot. Aim to press your arms a little deeper overhead. Good, inhale. Exhale, release your left fingertips to the ground inside your right foot. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward. And exhale, twist right. Stretch your right arm up toward the ceiling. Great. Aim. I'd suggest don't take that left hand flat. Rather stay on your left fingertips and then almost use the muscles of your back a little to try and lift weight out of that hand on the ground. Great. Now spin, twist more across your trunk. That's a ticket. And really feel that right side of your chest expand out. Inhale. Exhale, take your hands to the ground. Excuse me, drop your back knee down. Inhale, come up and raise your arms. Exhale, sink deeper into the lunge. Inhale. And exhale, release right forearm to the top of your right thigh. And work into a side bend. You can also release right fingertips to the ground beside your right hip. Here, stay long through that top arm. Think of lengthening the top side of your body away, all the way to your fingertips. If you've got fingertips down, you can walk your hand away more to find a deeper side bend. Great. Keep pressing down through your back foot. And keep breathing deep into the base of your belly. Inhale, come up and raise both arms. Down dog, plant your hands and step back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands, crescent lunge. Inhale, rise up and raise both arms. Exhale, clasp your hands at the base of your back. And inhale, roll your shoulders back and down, lift the top of your chest. And exhale, bowing, pressing your arms overhead. Keep your back legs strong, just like before. Absolutely, balance is tricky here, but keep aiming to work the pose almost off your back foot. As you work and aim to press your arms a little deeper. Inhale. Exhale, release your right fingertips to the ground and the inside of your left foot. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward. And exhale, twist left, lift your left arm. Good, again, stay on your right fingertips. Power up your back leg and almost use the muscles of your back to lift weight off that right hand a little. There, and then access deeper twist as that helps with the engagement of your back muscles. Fantastic. Especially feel the stretch across the left side of your chest. Inhale. Exhale, take your hand down, release your back knee down. Inhale, come up and raise both arms. Exhale, deepen your hips into the lunge. Good. Breathe in deeply. And exhale, take left forearm to left upper thigh, start to work into a side bend. Great. So you might notice there's a tendency to want to push the arm closer to the ear to feel like you're side bending more. Keep it away slightly and then aim to bend your torso to the side. That's the ticket. As you do, keep pressing down through your back foot. And keep reaching all the way to your fingertips. Feel like you're lengthening that entire side of your body. Good. Inhale, come up, raise both arms. Down dog, plant your hands and step back. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, walk your hands to the back of your mat. Take your towel or belt with you. Take it around behind you. Now, have a look at how my arms are positioned. Stretch back behind you with your palms facing down and grab the belt there. So your palms face down, back to your hands face the ceiling. And fold in Begin to press away overhead. As you do this, you can walk your hands in on your towel or belt to make it narrower. And of course, you could clasp your hands, but I'd recommend using a prop to have a slightly wider grip. So you can play with the range. That's the ticket. Yeah, and if you're getting really deep toward the ground, definitely take your hands a little closer. Awesome. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, release your strap to the ground. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, walk your hands forward, down dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Crescent lunge, step your right foot between your hands. Inhale, stand up, raise your arms. And exhale, release your arms down beside you. So think of the same way you held the strap. Roll your shoulders back so your palms face forward, even slightly away from you. Then slightly press the thumb edge of your hand toward the back of your body. Take a breath in. And exhale, bend your back knee to propel forward. And raise your back leg off the ground. Warrior three. So keep that press up of the thumb edge of your hands toward the ceiling. Lengthen the crown of your head forward and stretch back through your back heel. Take a deep breath in. With control, exhale, bend your standing leg and step back to crescent lunge. Inhale, raise your arms. And exhale, spin your back heel to the ground. Turn your front toes in to face the side wall. And come to goddess or horse riding stance. Toes turned out about 65 degrees each foot. And here, take that same clasp of your hands at the base of your back. Take your shoulders back, find the breadth of your chest. And even slightly lift the top of your chest. Stretch down through your knuckles. Sit deeper. Inhale. Release your hands to the ground in front of you. Spin your heels away so that your feet are parallel to one another. Halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, fold in, plant your hands flat. Good. If you're pretty comfortable, you can walk your hands back a little deeper so that your heels of your hands line up with your heel. If that's still pretty easy, you can walk your hands a little further back still. Good. Breathe deeply. Breathe evenly. And breathe fully. Right, take a halfway lift. Then, I'll change the camera so you can see this. Drop your left knee to the ground, shin parallel with the short edges of your mat. Walk your left hand out to the left. Walk your right heel across so that it lines up with your left knee and stretch your right arm away. Great, so think of one line through your right leg and through your spine, through the right side of your waist. Reach all the way to your right fingertips. Maybe even press that arm slightly back toward the back of your body. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, take your hands down, walk them toward your computer. Spin your front toes forward, Tuck your back toes and step back to down dog. Take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Inhale. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands, crescent lunge. Inhale, come up and raise both arms. And exhale, drop your arms down beside you. As before, roll your shoulders back so that your palms face away. Press back through the thumb edge of your hands. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend your back knee, propel off that to come forward to warrior three. Keep the work that's happening in your upper back and chest. Keep pressing up toward the ceiling with the thumb edge of your hands. And can you lean in a little more, bring your torso parallel to the ground. And really stretch back through your back leg. Good, inhale. With control, bend your standing leg. Step back to crescent lunge. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, spin your back heel down. Spin your front toes in. Find horse riding stance. Again, toes turned out about 65 degrees each. Sink deep. Clasp your hands at the base of your back. And really emphasize, take your shoulders back. Reach down through your knuckles and lift the top of your chest. And then press away a little more if you like. Inhale. Exhale, spin your heels away, fold in. You have the option of keeping this hand grip. Otherwise, release your hands to the ground as before. You could also grab your belt. And as you did before in the forward fold, work the shoulder stretch with your belt. It's a good option here. Take a couple of deeper breaths. Great. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release your hands to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands, take your right shin to the ground, parallel with the short edges of your mat. Heel toe your left foot across, so left heel lines up with right knee. And come back, plant your right hand in a line with your front foot and your knee. Good, stretch away. Again, first make a long line from your front foot through your spine, through your top arm. And then you might even press your top arm toward the back of your body a little. Yeah, and spin that top side of your torso open toward the ceiling more. We transition differently here. So inhale. And exhale, take your hands to the ground in front of you. Have a look if you're not sure. Spin on your knee, spin your shin through, and sit back. Great, so you're facing side on, but do whatever works for you. Bring your right heel a little deeper toward your right inner upper thigh. Take your left hand across and anchor down. And then start to lean over toward your extended leg. Now, two options. Either take your hands to the nape of your neck, stretch through your elbow. As we've done with a couple of things, first think of reaching linearly straight out through your elbow. The second, you might think of pressing that arm toward the back of your body more. You can look up if it feels comfortable. Absolutely. The second option then is to stretch away. And if you do that, aim to straighten your elbow, aim to reach to your fingertips. And that might be really intense, but that will be largely because you're putting nerves on stretch when your arm is stretched out like that. Okay. Breathe in to come up and change sides. Bring your left heel towards your left inner upper thigh. Stretch your right leg up beside you. Then bring your right hand across to anchor your thigh down. And then start to come into the side bend. As before, you can bring left hand to the nape of your neck, or you can stretch away. You might do a little of one, a little of the other. And also, as before, first aim is to really reach long through that either just upper arm or the entire arm. Then the second aim might be to start to press that arm toward the back of your body. So you're opening out the top side of your torso more. Excuse me. Take a couple of deeper breaths. Inhale, come up. Plant your hands behind you as before with your fingertips facing forward. Plant your feet with your knees bent. Press your hips up. And as before, really emphasize that you've got the line from the fronts of your shoulders across the front of your chest. Aim to drive back into the ground so your chest sits higher than the front of your shoulder. That's it, really drive with your arms, engage across your upper back. That's it, Tony, keep that squeeze. There, yeah. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, release your hands to the ground. Cross your shins with your right shin forward. Bring your knees relatively narrow and your feet relatively far away so that your shins are parallel with the front edge of your mat. And take your hands out in front of you. Inhale, lengthen your spine away. And exhale, fold in. Now, if you don't have much range, a couple of things go on here. One, if you don't have much range and you feel like you're sitting way up high, then put a prop, put a cushion under your butt. And that will let more of your range go into your torso folding in. You might find more comfort there. Keep breathing deeply. The other thing that can happen is if your knees feel tweaky, and it varies, it can be like on the inside of the knee or on the outside. And if that's the case, you can also prop, roll of toilet paper if you like, prop that knee up, and giving it a bit of support will help. It can help prevent those tweaks. The other thing is, of course, the pose might not be right for you. If you find that's the case, then do figure 4 with your right leg on top instead. Walk your hands in and come up. Change legs. Cross your left leg in front. Set up on the second side. Again, sit up on a cushion if that supports you, or put something, you could use the bolster to support your knee if that gets tweaky. Take your hands out in front. Inhale, lengthen away. And exhale, fold in. Now again, you can use those modifications and you can breathe into it, but also it might just not be an optimal pose for your body. So another alternative which will give you similar juice, similar effect, is figure 4 pose. And on this side, figure 4 pose, your left leg would be on top. Take a handful of deeper breaths here. And walk your hands in and sit up. And lie back to the ground. So let's give you double bang for buck on hip external rotators. Take figure four pose with your right leg on top. Across the base of your shin, onto the front of your left thigh. Draw your legs in. Reach through and grab either your left shin, or you can hold your left back of your thigh, your hamstring. I find generally keeping a flex in that top foot, so drawing the top of your foot back toward your shin, that generally keeps the knee happy as you work with this pose. Simo, where does that catch in the front of your hip and knee? Okay, cool. Yeah, don't force it. All right, don't mind me. Just kicking the video setup. So you could also, Simo, if you're feeling it tweaking the knee, you can also hold at the thigh and use the thigh to draw in more. And then don't really pull on the foot because it's that will put strain at your knee. Just with the left, yeah, like with the left hand, really gently keep the foot toward you so it's still in external rotation, but don't pull a lot on that foot. Great. From there, keep your legs in the shape that they're in, but release your left foot to the ground. Cross your right thigh all the way down onto your left. Excuse me. And spread your arms wide at shoulder height. Shift your hips slightly to the right of your mat. Take a breath in. And let your knees fall left. And turn your head right. The weight of your legs might be perfectly sufficient to the twist. You can also take your left hand to your outer right thigh and gently add some weight to your legs as they move toward the ground. Great. Inhale, come back to center. Center your hips on your mat and change legs. Come to figure four on the second side. Yeah. And reach through, grab your right shin or the back of your right hamstring to draw your legs in. Good. So for those of you that you feel it catch or block in the front of your hip when you draw your leg in, you might also take your leg wider. So you'd have more of the outer edge of your foot on your thigh. Is generally when that thigh is across toward the midline of your body, you'll find it blocks more, so take it out wider. And indeed, if figure four doesn't really work, then hold the outer edge of your foot, hold the outer edge of your thigh, use that to find more width, and then draw in. Does that make sense, Tone? So think of, rather than it being here, take it, this thigh out wider, and you might find that you can access the stretch of the muscles without the bony stuff getting in the way as much, at least. Great. Keep your legs in the shape that they're in. Release your foot to the ground, your right foot. And cross your left thigh all the way down onto your right. Shift your hips slightly to the left of your mat. Spread your arms wide and take a breath in. And exhale, take your knees right. And turn your head left. Again, the weight of your legs might be perfectly sufficient. You can also use your right hand on the outside of your left thigh to add weight to your legs, to draw them deeper toward the ground. Inhale, come back to center. Uncross your legs, center your hips on your mat, and then release to Shavasana. Stretch your legs out, release your arms down beside you. And initially, focus on your breath to help you settle deeply. Come back to that same focus you had right at the beginning, the focus of your breath at the lowest border of your lungs. And feel that gentle rise and fall, and then as you inhale, that lowest border of your lungs expands down into the spaces of your abdomen. As you exhale, feel it gently rise up. As you do this, begin to slightly emphasize, to slightly lengthen your out breath. Either do this quite naturally just by feeling the length of your in-breath versus the length of your out-breath. You could also count a gentle, if you like, 1 elephant, 2 elephant, 3 elephant, 4 elephant. And say your in-breath took a steady count of 4. And begin by making your out-breath take a steady count of 6. As you go along, you might then make your out breath take a count of 8, make it twice as long as your in breath. And while your focus is primarily on your breath, keep a little awareness on your body. And if you feel your body becoming more tense, then perhaps don't lengthen your out breath quite as much. Just as you did at the beginning of the practice, feel how a pause quite naturally occurs after the end of your in-breath, before your out-breath begins. And after the end of your out-breath, before your in-breath begins. Allow that pause to be there. And if it feels quite natural and quite easeful to do, then with the pause after your out-breath, you might allow that pause to lengthen a little. Allow yourself a moment or a few moments longer before you begin to breathe in again. Again, if that feels in any way stressful, or if that causes tension to creep into your body, then don't pause that long. hopefully what that does is it begins to really relax you. And if you feel that it starts to really relax you, you've got two choices. Keep doing it, keep getting more relaxed. Or you can drop the focus on your breath. Simply rest here, be still here, and let your breath begin to return to its natural state, natural flow. Take a few deeper breaths here. And softly roll to one side and curl into a ball. And press your way up and take a seat.